Every map has an edge. For the explorer, it is the horizon. For the sailor, it is the abyss. But for the anthropologist of stars, the edge of the map is not a place. It is a condition. It is the moment where the laws of nature stop working and the logic of the universe simply breaks. We call them black holes. For centuries, they were a mathematical ghost, a dark star, predicted by the equations, but dismissed by the mind. We could not conceive of an object so dense, so monolithic, that it could pin down light itself. Imagine a star 10 times the mass of our sun crushed into a space no larger than a city. The gravity becomes so intense that the speed of escape exceeds the speed of light. And since nothing in this universe can move faster than light, nothing that enters can ever return. To look at a black hole is to look at a sensor of reality. It is a hole in the fabric of existence where now and then lose their meaning. We have spent our history trying to shine a light on the mysteries of the cosmos. But we have finally found a mystery that swallows the light. Welcome to the event horizon, the place where the story ends and the silence begins. Everything has a breaking point. In 1916, while serving on the front lines of a world war, a physicist named Carl Schwarzschild found a monolithic truth hidden in Einstein's equations. He calculated that for any amount of mass, there is a specific size, a magic radius, where gravity becomes absolute. We call it the Schwarzschild radius. It is the mathematical shadow of an object. If you were to crush our sun down to a sphere only 3 kilometers wide, it would vanish. If you crushed the Earth until it was the size of a marble, it would become a black hole. Even you, if you were compressed into a space smaller than a single atom, would rip a hole in the fabric of reality. The Schwarzschild radius is the invisible line. On one side, you are part of the universe. You can scream, you can shine, and you can escape. But the moment you cross that line, the universe forgets you. It is a one-way door in the geometry of space. To the anthropologist, it represents the ultimate fringe. It is the boundary where the known becomes the unknowable. Once you cross the radius, all paths lead inward. There is no left. There is no right. There is only down. Gravity doesn't just pull you. It replaces your future. We do not see the beast. We see its hunger. Because a black hole is an absence of light, it should be invisible. But in the crowded heart of a galaxy, the monster is a messy eater. It is surrounded by a halo of fire we call the accretion disk. This disk is a frenetic swirl of gas, dust, and shredded stars spinning at nearly the speed of light. The friction is so intense that the matter glows with 1 billion degrees of heat screaming in X-rays before it is swallowed. This is the monster's breath, a ring of light that illuminates the very thing it is about to lose. Inside that ring lies the event horizon. It is the most perfect shadow in the universe. It is a sphere of absolute silence where the laws of the visible world simply cease. It is not a surface. It is a monolithic curtain. And at the very center, beyond the light, beyond the time, lies the singularity. This is the end of the map. Our math tells us that here, a massive star has been crushed into a point of 0 volume and infinite density. It is a place where gravity is so strong that space-time itself is no longer a fabric. It is a knot. We have mapped the anatomy of the abyss. We know the skin, the breath, and the heart. But we still do not know what it feels like to be the meal. The monster doesn't just eat matter. It eats the possibility of an exit. Gravity is usually a gentle companion. On Earth, it pulls on your head and your feet with almost equal strength. But near the horizon of a stellar mass black hole, gravity becomes frenetic. It becomes a thief of symmetry. If you were to fall toward the abyss feet first, the difference in pull would become a nightmare of geometry. The gravity at your feet would be millions of times stronger than the gravity at your head. In the language of physics, we call this tidal force. In the language of the void, we call it spaghettification. Before you even reach the event horizon, the abyss begins to stretch you. Your body is pulled into a thin, monolithic string of atoms. You are no longer a person. You are a ribbon of matter, a mile long and thinner than a hair being fed into the dark. It is the ultimate deconstruction. The black hole does not just kill you, it dismantles the very definition of solid. To the anthropologist, this is the final humiliation of biology. We spent millions of years evolving to stand upright to hold our shape and to defy the Earth. But in the presence of a singularity, our shape is merely a suggestion. We are not built for the infinite. We are made of fragile links that the abyss snaps like dry twigs. By the time you cross the threshold, you are nothing but a whisper of light and a stream of particles screaming into the silence. Gravity is not just a weight, it is a clock thief. In the visible world, we treat time as a constant. A second on Earth is a second on Mars. But Einstein revealed a monolithic truth. The stronger the gravity, the slower the time. Near a black hole, the fabric of when is stretched as violently as the fabric of where. If you were to hover just outside the event horizon and look back at the distant stars, you would see the history of the universe play out in a frenetic high-speed blur. You would see suns ignite and die in seconds. You would see galaxies collide and crumble like autumn leaves. A single hour for you could be 10,000 years for the people you left behind. But for the person watching you from a safe distance, the tragedy is different. As you fall toward the horizon, they would see your movement slow down. Your image would turn red, then a deep spectral infrared. To them, you would never actually cross the line. You would appear to freeze at the edge of the abyss, a monolithic statue suspended forever in the final moment of your existence. We call this the frozen star paradox. To the universe, you are a ghost trapped in the amber of time. But to you, you have already crossed. You have entered a place where the future is no longer a direction in time, but a location in space. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate isolation. You are separated from your home not by miles, but by eons. You are not just falling into a hole. You are falling out of history. For 100 years, we were blind. We had the math of Einstein and the predictions of Schwarzschild, but we lacked the monolithic eye needed to see the truth. Black holes remained ghosts of the imagination until April of 2019. That was the day the abyss finally looked back. We did not take this picture with a single camera. We turned the entire Earth into a telescope. 8 observatories from the volcanoes of Hawaii to the frozen deserts of Antarctica synchronized their clocks and focused on a single point in the constellation Virgo. They were looking at M87, a supermassive monster 6.5 billion times the mass of our sun. When the image finally emerged from the data, it was not a frenetic explosion of light. It was a ring of fire surrounding a circle of absolute shadow. We were looking at the shadow of the event horizon. We were seeing the silhouette of the unseeable. To the anthropologist, this image is a testament to our obsession. We spent decades building a planetary eye just to photograph a hole in the universe. We wanted to prove that our logic was sound. We wanted to see if the end of the map really looked the way we had drawn it. It did. The photo was blurry orange and haunting. It looked like a donut of doom, but to a scientist, it was a monolithic validation. It was the moment the ghost became a physical neighbor. We have seen the face of the monster, and we found that it wears a crown of light. We are no longer guessing. We are witnessing. Size in the abyss is not just a measurement, it is a destiny. In our census of the dark, we have found 2 primary classes of monsters. The first are the stellar mass black holes. These are the corpses of giant suns. When a star 10 or 20 times the size of our own runs out of fuel, it collapses under its own weight. It is a local tragedy, a single star turning into a single terrifying tomb. They are common. There could be 100 million of these invisible graves drifting through our galaxy right now. They are the frenetic predators of the deep, often found in binary systems, slowly devouring their neighboring stars like a silent parasite. But then, there are the supermassive black holes. These are not merely dead stars. They are monolithic engines of creation and destruction. They live at the very center of almost every galaxy, including our own. They are millions, sometimes billions of times the mass of the sun. To a stellar black hole, the solar system is a meal. To a supermassive black hole, the solar system is a speck of dust. We do not yet fully understand how they grew so large so quickly. They are the elder gods of the cosmos. While the stellar black hole is a ghost in the woods, the supermassive black hole is the city itself. One is a solitary hunter. The other is a gravitational anchor that holds hundreds of billions of stars in a frenetic spinning embrace. We live in a galaxy governed by a monster, but it is a monster that keeps our home from drifting away. The universe has a memory. In the visible world, we believe in the law of conservation. You can burn a book, but the information, the arrangement of atoms, and the energy of the smoke is still there hidden in the chaos. But in the heart of a black hole, the universe seems to forget. For decades, Stephen Hawking wrestled with a terrifying contradiction. If a black hole eventually evaporates and disappears, what happens to the information that fell into it? If the data of a star or a person is truly destroyed, then the fundamental laws of quantum mechanics are broken. This is the information paradox. It is a monolithic crisis in our understanding of reality. On one side, Einstein says the information is trapped forever behind the horizon. On the other side, Hawking says the black hole slowly leaks away until nothing is left. If the black hole vanishes and the information does not come back out, then the past itself is deleted. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate existential threat. We are a species built on record. We keep journals, we build monuments, and we study the light of ancient suns to understand our origins. But the singularity is a shredder. It is a place where the history of an atom is stripped away, leaving only a blank frenetic void. Are black holes the delete keys of the cosmos? Or is the information hidden in a way we can barely perceive? We are standing at the edge of a frenetic civil war between our two greatest theories, and the prize is the truth of our own existence. What if the abyss is not a hole, but a storage device? In the heat of the information war, physicists like Leonard Susskind proposed a solution that defies everything we know about volume. They suggested that when an object falls into a black hole, its information isn't lost in the singularity. Instead, it is smeared across the event horizon. Think of a holographic sticker. It is a flat two-dimensional surface that, when caught in the right light, reveals a three-dimensional image. The holographic principle suggests that the two-dimensional surface of a black hole contains every bit of data about every star and every atom it has ever swallowed. The inside is an illusion. The monolithic truth is on the surface. But then the theory takes a terrifying turn. If a black hole, the most extreme object in the universe, is a hologram, then what about the rest of us? Some physicists believe that our entire three-dimensional reality, the galaxies, the Earth, and the very air you breathe, is just a projection. We are the image being cast from a two-dimensional boundary at the edge of the universe. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate frenetic irony. We spent our history believing we were the solid masters of a solid world. But we might just be the light show. We might be the ghosts of a distant flat reality. We are not the inhabitants of a vast space. We are the pixels on a cosmic screen. And the black hole. It is the only place where the projector is visible. We were told the fall would be gentle. Einstein's general relativity promises us that the event horizon is just a boundary in space. If you were falling into a supermassive black hole, you wouldn't even feel it. You would simply drift into the dark, watching the stars fade behind you. It would be a peaceful, monolithic transition. But the ghosts of quantum mechanics disagree. In 2012, a group of theorists realized that if the information paradox is to be solved, the event horizon cannot be a smooth gateway. To protect the laws of the universe, the horizon must be a firewall, a literal wall of high-energy particles that would incinerate anything that touches it. This is the firewall paradox. It is a choice between two holy laws of physics. If Einstein is right, the fall is smooth, but information is lost. If quantum mechanics is right, information is saved, but the traveler is vaporized in a frenetic blast of radiation the moment they reach the edge. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate no trespassing sign. It is as if the universe has built a security system to prevent us from ever seeing what lies inside the monolithic vault. We are caught in a frenetic logical trap. The universe cannot be both smooth and safe. It must be either a lie or a furnace. We are standing at the edge of the dark, and the door is not just locked, it is burning. Nothing in this universe is truly immortal. For decades, we believed that black holes were the final destination of matter, the ultimate permanent prisons. But in 1974, Stephen Hawking looked at the empty space surrounding the event horizon and found a frenetic leak. According to quantum mechanics, the vacuum of space is not empty. It is a sea of virtual particles that pop in and out of existence in pairs, matter and antimatter annihilating each other instantly. But at the edge of the abyss, something strange happens. Occasionally, one particle falls into the black hole while its partner escapes into the universe. To an observer, it looks as if the black hole is glowing. It is emitting a faint spectral heat. We call this Hawking radiation. This leak comes at a price. The energy to create that escaping particle must come from the black hole itself. Bit by bit, atom by atom, the black hole loses mass. It is evaporating. For a supermassive black hole, this process is agonizingly slow. It will take trillions upon trillions of years long after the last star in the universe has gone cold for a monster to vanish. But in its final moments, the evaporation becomes frenetic. The black hole shrinks faster and faster, ending its life in a silent, monolithic explosion of pure gamma rays. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate irony. The greatest shovels of matter are eventually unmade by the nothingness of the vacuum. Even the dark has an expiration date. The abyss is not a grave, it is a timer. We think of the monster as a consumer, but the monster is also a gardener. It is one of the great ironies of the monolithic scale. While a supermassive black hole is capable of swallowing entire worlds, it also acts as a regulator for the galaxy that houses it. We call this active galactic nucleus feedback. When a black hole feeds too greedily, it creates a frenetic storm of energy. It shoots out massive jets of plasma and radiation that stretch for thousands of light years. This energy heats up the surrounding gas, blowing it out of the galaxy like a cosmic leaf blower. This sounds like destruction, but it is actually a form of mercy. Without the black hole's breath, the gas in the galaxy would cool too quickly. It would collapse into too many stars all at once, exhausting the galaxy's fuel in a short-lived violent burst. The black hole acts as a shepherd. By blowing away the excess gas, it slows down the birth of stars, ensuring that the galaxy can live for billions of years instead of millions. We are the inhabitants of a balanced system. The abyss at the center of the Milky Way is currently quiet, a sleeping shepherd. But its past activity is the reason we have a stable home today. To the anthropologist, this is a lesson in monolithic balance. The very thing that could destroy us is the same force that ensured we had enough time to evolve. The dark heart of the galaxy isn't just a grave, it is the metronome of life. We have been taught that the universe is a one-way street. We see the event horizon as a wall and the singularity as a dead end. But the same equations that gave us the monster also give us a monolithic dream, the Einstein-Rosen bridge. In 1935, Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen realized that the geometry of a black hole doesn't have to end in a point. Mathematically, the funnel of space-time could stretch out and connect to another funnel in a distant part of the universe, or even another reality. We call it a wormhole. It is a frenetic shortcut, a tunnel through the bulk of space that could turn a journey of 1,000,000 years into a walk across a room. But to the anthropologist, this dream comes with a warning. While the math allows for the bridge theory, the universe seems to guard it fiercely. To keep a wormhole open, you would need exotic matter, a substance with a negative energy that holds the throat of the tunnel against the monolithic urge of gravity to snap it shut. Without it, the bridge collapses instantly. It becomes a trap rather than a doorway. We are looking for a back door to the stars. We are searching for a way to bypass the abyss. But perhaps the bridge is only meant for the light. Perhaps the universe has a speed limit for a reason. We are a species that hates boundaries. We see a hole in the universe and we want to know if it leads home. The greatest light is born from the deepest dark. If you were to look across the billion-year stretches of the abyss, you would see beacons of light so powerful they outshine entire galaxies. We call them quasars. When we first found them, we thought they were stars. But a star is a flickering candle compared to a quasar. A quasar is the active phase of a supermassive black hole. It is what happens when a monster at the center of a galaxy finds a frenetic abundance of food. As the gas and stars are pulled toward the event horizon, they don't just fall, they collide, they rub, and they ignite. The friction of gravity is more efficient than nuclear fusion. The matter in the accretion disk becomes so hot that it shines with the light of a trillion suns. It is a monolithic irony. The very object that is defined by its blackness is the engine for the brightest light in the known universe. A quasar is a lighthouse at the edge of the world, marking the places where the dark is currently feasting. To the anthropologist, these are the campfires of the early universe. Most quasars are billions of light years away. When we see them, we are looking at the youth of the cosmos, a time of monolithic violence and rapid growth. They are the screams of matter before it vanishes into the void. We see the light because the dark is busy. We are watching a predator eat and finding that the wreckage is beautiful. The universe is a hoarder of detail. A planet has mountains, oceans, and a history of life. A star has a specific chemical signature, a magnetic pulse, and a story of its birth. But the moment matter crosses the event horizon, the universe performs a monolithic erasure. Physicists call this the no-hair theorem. It is the idea that black holes are the simplest objects in existence. They have no hair, no texture, no composition, no memory of what they used to be. Whether you throw a grand piano, a pile of lead, or a dying star into the abyss, the resulting black hole looks exactly the same. To an observer on the outside, a black hole can only be described by three numbers: its mass, its spin, and its electric charge. This is a frenetic loss of identity. It is as if you walked into a room and came out as nothing but your weight and the speed at which you were turning. The history of the matter is bleached away by the sheer intensity of the gravity. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate monolithic minimalism. We live in a world of infinite complexity, but the black hole is the final edit. It is the universe's way of simplifying the map by removing the territory. It is the most naked thing in the cosmos. It has no past. It only has a presence. We look at the abyss and see a drain. But if you are clever enough, you might see a power plant. Most black holes are not static. They are Kerr black holes, spinning titans that drag the very fabric of space-time around with them as they rotate. This creates a region just outside the event horizon called the ergosphere. In the ergosphere, standing still is a physical impossibility. Space itself is moving faster than light. It is a frenetic, swirling tide of geometry. In 1969, Roger Penrose realized that this rotation is a reservoir of monolithic energy. He proposed a way to steal it. Imagine a future civilization sending an object into the ergosphere. Just before it crosses the point of no return, the object splits in two. One half is sacrificed to the abyss, while the other half is kicked back out into space. Because of the frame dragging of space-time, the piece that returns can emerge with more energy than it had when it entered. You are effectively mining the rotation of the black hole. You are slowing down the monster's spin to power a civilization. It is the ultimate extraction, harvesting the momentum of a dead star to fuel the lives of the living. To the anthropologist, this is the pinnacle of hubris. We are a species that began by burning wood then coal, then atoms. Perhaps our final act will be to put a leash on the monolithic dark and turn the end of the map into a battery. We are not just victims of the gravity, we are the ones who might eventually harness the ghost. We are a species of the threshold. For millions of years, the unknown was a physical place. It was the forest beyond the fire, the ocean beyond the shore, the mountain beyond the clouds. We evolved to be curious about the edge, because the edge is where the new resources were. The edge was where we grew. But in the black hole, we have found a threshold that is not a frontier. It is a monolithic wall. It is the only place in the universe where curiosity is a death sentence. To know the truth of the interior is to forfeit the ability to tell it. Why then are we so obsessed? Why do we spend billions of dollars and decades of our lives to photograph a shadow? Why does the event horizon haunt our stories and our dreams? Perhaps it is because the black hole is the only object that matches the scale of our own frenetic mortality. We are beings who know we will end. We are a 5% minority that lives in the shadow of an inevitable silence. In the singularity, we see a mirror of our own final edit. It is the ultimate monolithic mystery, the one place where our science, our math, and our ego finally fail us. We are drawn to the black hole because it represents the secret that the universe refuses to share. We don't just want to see the dark. We want to see the part of ourselves that the dark cannot touch. Here is the realization that stops the heart. In our world, time is a river that flows in one direction, but space is a playground. You can move left, right, forward, or back. But the moment you cross the event horizon, the geometry of the universe performs a monolithic flip. Inside the dark, the radial direction, the path toward the center is no longer space. It becomes time. The singularity is not a point at the center of a room. It is a moment in your future. Just as you cannot stop tomorrow from arriving, you cannot stop yourself from hitting the singularity. To try and move away from the center would be like trying to move away from next Tuesday. It is a frenetic impossibility. This is why nothing can escape. Not because the gravity is too strong, but because there are no paths in time that lead back to the surface. All futures lead to the monolithic zero. To the anthropologist, this is the ultimate confrontation with the end. Inside the black hole, you are not trapped in a cage of matter. You are trapped in a dead end of time. It is a place where later is a physical wall. The singularity is the midnight of the universe. It is the place where every story, is forced to reach its final frenetic conclusion. It is not just the end of the star. It is the end of the possibility of next. But what if the end is a monolithic lie? Our current math breaks down at the singularity. It gives us infinity, which is the universe's way of saying we don't know the answer yet. But where the equations fail, the imagination takes flight. Some theorists suggest that the singularity is not a point of destruction, but a conduit. Imagine a white hole, the mathematical opposite of the dark monster. A place where nothing can enter and matter and light it are perpetually being expelled into the void. Some believe that every black hole in our universe is a seed that blossoms into a white hole in another dimension. We call this the theory of fecund universes. It suggests that the cosmos is a fractal, a biological-like system where black holes are the reproductive organs of reality. Every time a star collapses in a parent universe, it gives birth to a baby universe on the other side. If this is true, then we are not living on a lonely rock in a cold void. We are living inside the result of an ancient frenetic collapse. Our Big Bang was simply the exit of a black hole from another world. To the anthropologist, this changes the nature of our shadow. The abyss is no longer a grave. It is a womb. Every time we look at a black hole, we might be looking at the back door of a new creation. We are not witnessing the end of a story. We are witnessing the prologue of another. We return now to the light. We have traveled from the visible mirage of the stars to the monolithic silence of the event horizon. We have seen our math break our time stretch and our very atoms turn into ribbons of light. We have looked into the one place in the universe that refuses to be known. There is a comfort in the end of the map. In a universe that often feels too large and too frenetic to comprehend, the black hole provides a final boundary. It is a reminder that there are secrets the cosmos is not yet ready to share, and perhaps secrets we are not yet ready to hear. We are the inhabitants of the 5%. We are the light bearers who live in the brief, glowing interval between the beginning and the dark. The singularity will remain. It will wait for the stars to fade. It will wait for the galaxies to drift. It is the patient, monolithic collector of all things. But for now, we are the ones who are looking. We are the ones who turned a whole planet into an eye just to see a shadow. The abyss may have the final word, but we had the curiosity to ask the question. Sleep now. The horizon is holding, and the light is still ours.